Well, hello, all you wonderful creatives out there. Today, I'm going to show you my concept drawing process as well as how I resize and transfer my sketch onto a canvas. And sticking with the goddess theme, I'm drawing my version of Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. I used two reference photos from unsplash.com to get the facial features in proportions of the 3/4 profile view. And I'm just using a mechanical graphite pencil for this sketch. And I've drawn a 12 by 16 inch rectangle around the focal point, which is a 3:4 aspect ratio, the same ratio as the canvas I'll be using for this painting. When I create a sketch like this, it serves as either a piece of artwork by itself or a blueprint for a painting, and some of my ideas never become paintings, either because the composition won't translate well with paint, or because it doesn't turn out quite the way I had anticipated it to, and it ends up looking kind of weird. For instance, I once had this idea about a Persephone painting that I wanted to do, and I sketched it out, and I used imitation gold leaf and colored pencils and gouache. And by the time I was done, it looked more like a geisha holding a pomegranate than a Greek queen of the underworld, so clearly that wasn't going to work. But recently in my sketches, I've really been kind of experimenting with some of the styles of Art Nouveau, but not. And what I mean by that is Art Nouveau has a lot of like really organic lines, and they're flowy and really almost this enchanted look. But I really like the kind of framing that Alphonse Mucha created around his subjects, and I thought it was really cool. But in order to do this with kind of this Greek goddess theme, I don't want to have as many kind of like these flowy lines. So I decided that I kind of want to use a lot of patterns, which are kind of inspired by Gustav Klimt a little bit, but patterns of my own design, obviously. So within this piece of artwork right now, I'm basically freehanding just a whole bunch of shapes, and I'm going to put a lot of symbolism that has to do with Artemis within this sketch. And I want it to look like she's actually tattooed from the neck and chest area. So there you see kind of where I've used some pan lids, and I've also used like a string with a pencil attached to it to create some of those circular framing lines around there. And I'm putting some of these leaves, like the wreath of leaves, which is a symbol of Artemis and Apollo. And Artemis and Apollo were brother and sister. In fact, they were twins. So having that symbolism in there is kind of important for the story of the painting, as well as having that arrow coming down, which I thought was kind of like, out of her hair. It was kind of a neat idea. She's also being the goddess of the hunt. I had to put some antlers in there, so I wanted to have a couple of little decorations that were in the circles at the top, and the antlers kind of symbolizing her association with the deer, although she's also she's associated with like the deer and the boar and the moon. So there's a lot of symbolism associated with Artemis, which kind of makes it fun because you don't run out of little kind of like decorations that you can incorporate into the artwork itself. And I do love symbolism, so this sketch would not be complete without the classic first initial of her name made into a bow and arrow. One of the reasons I really enjoy doing drawings like this is because, well, I love to draw, but it also helps me figure out if it's a paint-worthy piece in my eyes. I figure a piece of paper is way cheaper than a canvas to figure it out. But this is a method I only employ for works that I have a lot of intricate details and not as much throwing paint around, which I also love doing. I really enjoy creating expressive abstract backgrounds, but my mood lately has been more about patterns, shapes, and how I can integrate homemade collage papers into the mix, which is ultimately what I intend to do with this series. I want to use my jelly plate to create some cool papers and have them strategically placed throughout the painting, possibly in combination with 24 karat gold leaf. I have an idea in my head anyway, and I'm just hoping the vision I have will look the way that I think it will in reality. So, one of the things that I do like to do with my sketches, because I am going to be photographing this so that I can resize it and then transfer it onto a canvas, is to use illustration pens on top of the pencil. Illustration pens are great because you get a variety of them and they have fine tips and thick tips, so you can either fill in a large area or you can do a lot of small cross hatching. And I use both of these techniques within the sketches. And it really does help to see all of your lines when you go to do your transfer. So that's one of the reasons why I do it. But I also think it makes the sketch look really, really cool. However, in this moment, I remember thinking, wow, this is beginning to look a lot like Wonder Woman. And I was wondering whether I should maybe scratch this and start over, because I was like, I'm not painting Wonder Woman. I don't know why it looks like Wonder Woman. It was like the moment I put the dark hair in, it suddenly became Wonder Woman to me. So I'm hoping that once it's on a canvas and there's color, it won't look like Wonder Woman. But we shall see. So this sketch is a little too large to scan into the computer, so I have to take a photo of it to get it ready to resize. Okay, so hopefully you have gone into whatever photo editor software you have. I use my fiance's Adobe Photoshop, which I can't show you because he's currently on his computer playing Diablo 4. So after I crop it in and make sure it's a 3:4 ratio, I go to this website called Rapid Resizer. The Rapid Resizer is great, but I don't know if there is a free version. There could be a free version, but I have the basic version, which is quarterly it's $11.99, yearly it's $39, so it's not super expensive or anything. So then I go to log in, it automatically logs me in, and then I go to load a design to resize. I choose my sketch, and my sketch, because it's already converted to a 3:4 ratio, should show up as a 3:4 ratio. And the only thing that I want to do is I want to change it to the dimensions of my canvas, which is going to be an 18 by 24, and it's proportional. Make sure that proportional is checked off, or otherwise it could print out kind of warped. So you just want to make sure that it's proportional, and then you can either go to customize and you can save ink. There are a couple of things that you can do in here. If, let's just say you had a color sketch, you can convert it to black and white, and you slide this bar down here and then you can see it there, and you can also zoom in up here. You could also change it to drawing, which makes it weird in my opinion, but maybe people would like that. I personally think it looks very strange, but you know, whatever floats your boat. Or you could go to whiten, which will make the whitest parts of the sketch white, and it will save you ink that way. I'm not going to use any of those. I'm just going to use my regular sketch because I think it's fine the way it is. So then you go to print and proceed. And when you get here, you just want to check and see how it's going to print out. This is going to print out in a landscape mode. Usually it will switch it to whatever is going to save you on paper. So this is going to print out on 8 sheets of paper, and it's going to print the sheets kind of like in a horizontal way. So it's not going to print portrait wise, it's going to print in a landscape, and that's fine by me because it's just going to get cut down and taped together anyway. You want to make sure that it's all of the pages that are going to be printed, and I'm printing in black and white, printing on one side, and then you go into more settings and you want to make sure that you click on actual size. Otherwise you might have your whole entire image print out smaller than your canvas. So always make sure that you hit actual size, and then you can print. Sorry about that audio there. The nice thing is that these pages come out numbered, so if you don't remember how your sketch actually fits together, you have the numbered column and row lines to help you. Hopefully you do remember how your sketch fits together, and that will be a non-issue. So the only thing you have to do is you cut out your image and then you start taping it together, and you will get the size that you desire to transfer to your canvas. Pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. You just want to make sure that your image lines up perfectly with each piece so you don't have any gaps or anything like that, and just go about taping it together, and then you can do a comparison at the end of it of your sketch and the printout, so you see the difference in the size from the original and looks pretty good. So this is the graphite transfer paper that I use. It's my Artscape, and this is 18 by 24 inches. It's my favorite transfer paper because it gets really nice lines. It comes in large sheets, which of course is ideal if you're working on a larger canvas. You can really see that I've been doing yard work. Look at that sunburn. My goodness. So then the next thing that you're going to want to do is you just take either a pen or a pencil, which I like to use a pen or a pencil to trace my sketch onto my canvas because then I can see what lines I've already done. I usually would use a red, something that's red, because then I can really see all the lines. But I kind of ran out of red ink, and it was like a fine tipped pen that I would use. So I'm just using the regular mechanical pencil to do this. And it's just a really easy way of transferring your sketch onto a canvas so you don't have a whole bunch of eraser marks or grid lines or anything like that, because I've already done the work of creating the sketch in the first place. I don't need to create the sketch again on the canvas, and this just makes this whole process a lot easier. So I've transferred it on there and it's ready to paint. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you next time. I love you guys. Bye.